I was a crane mechanic. I was a kind of a specialized field. We did live in Ocala, Florida. We actually ended up leaving everything there to move to Savannah, Georgia, when I was offered the job there at the port as a crane mechanic. So it was a new opportunity, a new start for us.
One of the most genuine, hardworking family guys I've ever met in my career. He worked through a tremendous amount of pain. He went back to a very physically demanding job with a back injury that candidly most people wouldn't even try.
I was off of the road, kind of waiting for them to get by, and I remember saying to myself, oh my God, he doesn't see me. And I remember jumping to the front of the piece of equipment I was in, just waiting for him to hit me. I knew it was coming, unfortunately. I remember closing my eyes. I remember the impact of the truck hitting it, I remember it going on two wheels, and then I remember being flung to the back of it, and my back hit the back rail. I honestly didn't even really think about myself being injured. All the thoughts are racing across your mind about, am I gonna lose my job? Or is this? I was having trouble driving home. It was so bad. So I ended up going to the hospital that night. They're like, the disc that's in your spine is very damaged. After the surgery, I realized, I was like, I don't think I'll be able to do that position much longer, because you had to be able to frequently lift 50 pounds, and then you had to be able to lift up to 100 pounds. And with my back, there was no way, unfortunately.
The degree of fault of the at-fault company was being minimized, and all of the fingers were being pointed at Kyle.
They were trying to blame everybody but themselves. Oh, it's just a dangerous job, or oh, it's just the roads weren't marked well enough. I remember something crazy about them oh, the weather that day. Act of God somehow that the weather blew me into a semi.
What you try to do is to filter out the antagonism that goes along with all of that, and just present it to the client as fact, say this is what happened.
I remember y'all were able to get the video from the accident, which totally showed, everything that we had, it totally said was going on. And it made it so much better, because a picture's worth 1,000 words. A video is worth 1,000,000. Easy, I knew the facts were on our side about it. I remember we did even the accident reenactment, out there at my work, which was a huge thing. I knew it was going to be a workman's comp case also. I was like, I need a big company who has lawyers who can help me represent me for the trucking company, and then also represent me for the workman's comp, because I knew it was going to be directly tied to each other. The trucking company case, everything about that related to what was on the workman's comp side as far as what the doctor said I needed. I was like, can y'all handle both of them? Because that's something I have to have. I don't want to be trying to be the middle person for two, different lawyers' offices trying to communicate, what's going on between each case. We gathered all the facts. We had specialists. I remember we had a long-term healthcare planner who was going over all the medical costs and everything. And I remember y'all worked very closely with the other workman's comp side to get these surgeries approved. I remember they fought us all the way till the end.
When I'm in a case, I can look at it and go, all right, what experts do we need? Since Farah Farah has such resources available, I can go out and just work the case up, where we've got that personal service that we can give to clients, but at the same time, got the backing of Eddie, Chuck, and the entire firm to do what we need to do and not have to worry about spending money on experts. He got behind on his bills. He felt like he couldn't support his family. To be able to resolve his case and to provide him with some level of financial security where maybe he could sleep a little easier at night, and that sticks out.
It meant everything to me. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was pretty, we going up into that point and everything, like I said, there's a lot of stuff going on, but it meant, honestly, a lot more to me knowing that my family was taken care of. Rick helped me out so much, I'd do anything for Rick. If Rick asked me to go to his house and help him dig a pool, I'd dig a pool for him.